Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. How's your middle of the week going? It's crazy. We've been doing so much this week. I don't know about you, but it feels like we're already at summer. But Memorial Day weekend is just around the corner, so I think we're getting pretty close. Joining us on a replay, big hello to my friends on replay. It's wonderful to have you with us, and special welcome also to my friends at Modern Mom, because we're also streaming to you each and every day now. Now let's talk about how the market closed, because that's what you want to know, right? Because the Dow closed up 10 points, NASDAQ closed up 80, we'll take it, and the S&P up 7 as well. Stocks today were pretty mixed as investors continue to be sort of concerned about inflation, but temporarily they kind of put those thoughts aside, because as you saw, technology stocks certainly outperformed today, and the NASDAQ did very well, while the S&P 500 sort of barely held on, but they held on. We are also seeing unfortunately consumer confidence dipped last month, even though things are starting to get better and people are getting vaccinated, but even with social distancing standards, a lot of people continue to be very hesitant about things getting back to normal. So people weren't quite spending as much as we're hoping last month. Who knows? Maybe this month will change. I don't know about you, but have you been spending more money? I think I spent a little bit more money than normal, especially during pandemic normal, probably because we have an upcoming family vacation. I shouldn't say vacation. It sounds like we're going to some luxury destination, which we are, but it's more of a road trip. We're definitely doing a nice road trip. But I have found myself spending a little bit more money than normal. So I'm guessing many of you are probably experiencing that, and perhaps that will be trickling down into our May numbers. Now, on other matters, we got to say a big happy birthday to the one and only the Dow Jones. That's right. Because the Dow Jones, you may not know, but was actually founded by a gentleman by the name of Charles Dow. So Dow Jones Industrial Average started 125 years ago today. And it started with 12 companies. Most of those companies, unfortunately, don't exist anymore, although General Electric was one of their original 12, and General Electric is still here. And, it's gained an average of over 7%, about 7.7% on average per year, with an over 82% gain in 1915 as the best year ever, and a 52+% loss in 1931, which was the worst year ever for the Dow Jones. Now, it's made over a thousand all-time new highs, and comes out of 4.5% of all days that have scored a new high. So it's just pretty good. It's a lot of new highs. Now, the worst day ever was a 22% drop during the crash of 1987, while the best single day ever was a 15+% gain in March of 1933. So there you go. Happy birthday to the one and only Dow Jones Industrial Average. Today's the day. I guess we're celebrating 125 years. Congratulations to them. And those of you who are invested in the stock market probably have some of those stocks in your portfolio. Now let's talk about something else. And that is, can we all agree that Amazon is in the pursuit of world domination? Speaking of world domination, I've seen the one and only Brian Schumann, who, by the way, is, I think, dominating LinkedIn. So wonderful to see you here, my friend. And as always, so grateful to have you here with us. Now, Amazon, my friends, have spent now, they spent a lot of money this week. They spent in excess of 8.45 billion, big ones, for MGM. It's historic, but a lot of people are saying, well, that's kind of blah, because Amazon has so much money, right? $1 trillion company, they could definitely spend that. Well, they spent 8.45 billion to buy MGM Studios. Now, those of you who are Amazon Prime members, you might think this as welcome news, because now they're going to have more content to add to Amazon Prime Video, and a studio also to produce more films, TV series, and more content in general. Now, this is the first time, this is actually historic, because this is actually the first time a really large technology company has acquired a legacy media company. It's actually historic, because it wasn't that long ago when many people thought Amazon would fail. Amazon wasn't going to be that big, and was considered very non-essential, not a big player in comparison to an MGM Studios. And yet, look at what happened. Amazon, in fact, has made this historic purchase. Now, they are saying that they definitely need more content for Prime Video to stay relevant against companies such as Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, and so many other streaming services that continue to be competing for you and I, for our eyeballs, right? They want us to watch and consume their content. Now, the primary rationale behind buying MGM is, of course, so that consumers like you and I will continue to pay for Amazon Prime. Discounted shopping. A lot of companies now offer discount shopping, but they need to continue to raise the bar to continue to bring us more value. So we're seeing more companies do this. We're seeing a lot of the big tech heavyweights do this. And a lot of people are saying, well, what's next for Apple, right? Apple's also got plenty of money. What are they going to do next? So I think we're all going to be watching this very closely, what I call the Amazon path towards world domination. And just to convince you of that further, you probably heard this already, but there was just rumors coming out that Amazon would start to perhaps build pharmacies and actually open individual pharmacies, maybe even build them as a part of their Whole Foods chains. And all of a sudden, because of this rumor, we saw shares of CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid actually fall on this report. Like anything Amazon touches for them turns to gold, it seems. But it certainly can make other companies, especially legacy companies, older companies, industries with that space, investors get very, very nervous. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. That news came out from Business Insider just recently, that rumor that they might go into the pharmacy business. So who knows? Drugstore chains have already been squeezed. So I wouldn't be surprised. Now let's talk about other trends that we're seeing. The great thing about being invested in the financial markets, but also to be a business owner, is to pay attention to trends. And when we talk about level up, we also want to know and see what's going to be ahead of us and how we can sort of predict to better navigate our own businesses, right? To make sure that we stay relevant and we participate in any upside in the future. That's what we're hoping for. So there was some news that came out that I really want to, sort of bring to your eyeball, to your radar for sure. So small business owners nationwide are actually being really smart, and I'm hoping this is really smart, but they're being very mindful of the current pandemic, and they're seeing opportunities in some of the most competitive spaces. In fact, there was an article that came out on NPR earlier today, which talk about how leases and lease renewals are down nearly 60% in places such as Manhattan, New York. Now, if you've been to New York, I actually, before the pandemic, felt like I was in New York every single week. But as you know, real estate is at a very high premium, very expensive, right? New York's a pretty small space, but there's a lot of people, a lot of business people, a lot of money. Well, so far, a lot of those leases and lease renewals being down over 60% also gave a lot of opportunities for small business owners to jump in. In fact, areas such as Rockefeller Center, which is traditionally a really high rent district with lots of foot traffic, well, there are small businesses that were able to move their businesses to that area, from areas that the article talked about a gentleman who started a small business, small restaurant in Brooklyn, which then was able to move into this very high rent area. We're talking about another person who during the pandemic actually lost their job in the retail industry and decided to open their own store in another very, very high rent area. So I'm curious, if you're a business owner and in your neighborhood, have you seen this trend? Because certainly we're seeing this pop up more so than ever. And if you haven't been thinking about it, it's probably a good idea, especially for those of you who run businesses. Maybe you've always wanted to have your business in like that prominent location, that dream location. Maybe time to look and see if any opportunities exist for you, not only rental, but perhaps also in acquisitions, because we're also seeing that more businesses are starting to make their way back to, maybe not completely 100% back in the office, but a lot of people are starting to go back to the office. In fact, I had a recent conversation with a very prominent producer of television shows, and she says, "Yeah, absolutely. When the days of remote filming, they're starting to disappear because people are now going back into live production. So things to be paying attention to, right? Definitely things to be paying attention." Another thing that we saw today, this was also news, was that how people are spending their money should also be relevant in your decision of where to start your business and where to house your business. In fact, there was a study that showed today on Reuters that one of the prominent business owners that owns a men's clothing retail shop said, stores are definitely going to be getting smaller because we anticipate that for men's clothing business that 50% of that business will occur online. So we don't need these huge, large department store chains anymore, but perhaps we just need smaller places where people can look, feel the fabric, maybe try a couple things on, but then once they're comfortable with how the sizing works, they'll be doing most of their shopping online. So I don't know. These are things to be paying attention to, especially as you're deciding how to transition your business from pandemic days to post-pandemic days. Now, those are things that we're definitely paying attention to here for our companies as well. So, these are the things we want to continue to talk about. Now, let's talk about some positive, happy level up news, some level up news for you that I think all of us might be able to participate in. And that is, you may be hearing a lot of news coming out that, if you get your vaccination, states are really adamant. They're really trying to help President Biden reached that July 4th deadline of getting 70% of Americans who are eligible to be vaccinated to have that first shot. Well, a lot of states as well as cities are getting really creative, finding ways to get people who sort of maybe have been sitting and just waiting to get their vaccination. So here's some fun news. Every day in the month of June, so that starts in just a few days here, United Airlines is going to give away a pair of round-trip tickets for two and any class of service. That's right, first class included, to anywhere in the world that they fly. But there's even better news. On July 1st, United will also dip back into that original pool and randomly pick 5 winners. I would like 5. That's so awesome because I have 5 members of my family, but I'm kidding. But they're going to pick 5 winners randomly for an amazing grand prize of this: 2 free flights for 2 anywhere in the world for an entire year. That's right, for a whole year. So if you had 2 free tickets to anywhere in the entire year, think about where you would fly to. This is really exciting. So for those of you who are looking into that, definitely check it out. We're going to share that. I know we shared that picture so you can see what that looks like, but you can jump on United's website. They actually are putting it out there. You can jump on there. I actually sent it to my husband. I was like, we need to definitely apply for this. But go ahead, check out United's website. And, if you've been vaccinated, all you have to do is upload your vaccination card and, you can hopefully get free travel for a year. That's a great thing. That's something to level up to for sure. Now, thank you so much, my friends. Thank you so much for watching, supporting our program. Please take a moment to share this show with someone that you care about all over social media. And as a reminder, you can find full episodes of Level Up with Winnie Sun on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Be well. I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Take care now.